and precision. This is no longer about firing missiles one after another. Iran has switched to coordinated saturation attacks. Solid fuel ballistic missiles from the Fateh and Zulfagar families are being launched, together with waves of attack drones. Different speeds, different flight paths, different altitudes. The objective is simple: confuse the radar. Exhaust interceptor missiles, force mistakes, ensure more warheads reach their targets. Iran has formally declared a new retaliation doctrine. For every American or allied strike, Iran says it will answer with 2.
Let the ignorant enemy know that, for us, a moment of epic is not a moment for restraint. Whatever is carried out by Iran's armed forces will not be a proportional strike, but a superior strike. Strikes that will be more severe, more extensive, and more devastating than ever before. The fire of the anger of a nation that has never surrendered will burn the aggressor.
Iran has declared the Strait of Hormuz a red line. Iran vows to crush regional infrastructure if US strikes escalate. President Donald Trump vows to keep punishing Iranians if they don't abide by his conditions.
We're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years. And we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens. But we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back.
Trump has not ruled out the possibility of using ground forces, including to seize Kharg Island, the site of Iran's main oil export terminal. He has repeated threats to hit Iranian power plants and bridges next week unless Tehran resumes negotiations. Washington still possesses overwhelming military firepower. American bombers, carrier strike groups, and advanced air power continue to dominate the region. They are one by one strategically crippling Iranian military command and control centers. But Tehran believes it has found an answer, not by matching American strength aircraft for aircraft, but by launching waves of missiles and drones designed to stretch defenses beyond their limits. Every new strike now risks another response. Every response risks another escalation.
After 4 years of relative calm, it looks like the Yemeni conflict is flaring up once again. A disputed Iranian flight, a strike on Sanaa's airport, a Houthi attack on Saudi Arabia, and now a $2 billion US arms deal to Saudi Arabia. All these have started a dangerous escalation. Listen in.
What began as a dispute over an Iranian aircraft has quickly turned into the biggest test of Yemen's fragile truce since 2022. The crisis began when an Iranian plane attempted to land in Sana'a, a city controlled by the Houthis. Before it could touch down, the airport runway was struck, forcing the aircraft to divert to Hodeidah. Riyadh says that it has nothing to do with the strikes, but the Saudi-backed Yemeni government says that it attacked the airport. The internationally recognized Yemeni government and Saudi Arabia are viewing the flight as an attempt by Iran to strengthen its direct link with Houthi-controlled territory. The Houthis and Tehran, however, said the flight was part of efforts to break what they described as restrictions imposed on the Sana'a airport. Tensions escalated further when the Houthis fired missiles at Saudi Arabia's Abha airport, calling it retaliation for the strike that prevented the Iranian plane from landing. It is the first Houthi-claimed attack on Saudi Arabia since the informal truce took effect in March 2022, raising fears that years of relative calm could be unraveling.
تؤكد القوات المسلحة اليمنية.
In response to this criminal Saudi aggression, the Yemeni armed forces carried out a significant military operation targeting Abha International Airport with a number of ballistic missiles and drones. The operation successfully achieved its objectives by the grace of God.
So far, Riyadh has avoided a full-scale military response, suggesting both sides are still trying to keep the escalation from spiraling into another major war. But Washington's position has become clearer. According to Reuters, senior Pakistani officials have told Iran that any attack on Saudi Arabia will be treated as an attack on Pakistan, describing it as a red line. If this conflict ignites, this would not just affect West Asia, it would have serious problems for the global fuel supply. A conflict could threaten shipping lane of Bab al-Mandeb that passes through the Red Sea. This, as the Strait of Hormuz already remains closed, choking global oil supply. The US State Department has reaffirmed its support for Saudi Arabia, accusing the Iran-backed Houthis of threatening regional security, freedom of navigation in the Red Sea, and American interests. At the same time, the United States has approved a $1.9 billion weapons sale to Saudi Arabia, saying that the deal will strengthen the security of a major non-NATO ally and support stability in the Gulf. The developments are also drawing Pakistan closer to the crisis. Islamabad, which helped mediate between Washington and Tehran last month, has a mutual defense agreement with Saudi Arabia, with thousands of Pakistani troops and fighter jets already deployed in the kingdom. As the Saudi-Houthi tensions rise, one question looms. Will Islamabad answer Riyadh's call or stay out?
Trump and Zaidi meet in the US as the Iraqi Kata'ib Hezbollah vows to continue its resistance. Now this comes days after Zaidi attended the late Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's funeral in Iraq. And America is pressuring to disarm the resistance groups. It looks like Iraq is caught between two rivals and trying to balance with both sides. We tell you more.
Iraqi paramilitary group Kata'ib Hezbollah has declared that it will continue its action, signaling that it has no intention of laying down its arms despite mounting pressure from the US. The group said it would carry on the resistance even if other Iraqi factions choose to scale back their operations. The statement comes as Iraq faces increasing US demands to disarm pro-Iran militias and remove them from state institutions. Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi, who took office in May, has repeatedly promised to ensure that all weapons remain under state control. But Iraqi paramilitary group Kata'ib Hezbollah says it will not discuss disarmament as long as foreign troops remain deployed in Iraq's Kurdistan region. The group even offered to take custody of advanced weapons from other factions, saying it has the expertise to handle systems such as cruise missiles. The developments come at a delicate moment for Baghdad. Only days after attending the funeral ceremonies of Iran's late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Iraq, Prime Minister Zaidi flew to Washington for his first official visit to the US. There, he received a warm welcome from President Donald Trump, who praised their tremendous chemistry and called Zaidi a champion.
President Trump, sir, your message to the Iraqi people with the new prime minister here, sir.
Love Iraq.
Do you think a peace deal with Iran?
Well represented. This man just won a big election. They are very well represented. I can tell you that. Thank you very much.
Trump claims he loves Iraq, but look at these images from the first week of July. Najaf and Karbala were teeming with mourners. Hundreds of thousands came out to pay their last respect to the slain Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. At the diplomatic level, Iraq is trying to balance both Iran and the US. The US visit came despite reports that Iran had urged Zaidi not to make Washington his first foreign destination as Prime Minister. US officials viewed the visit as a signal that Zaidi is pursuing an Iraq-first policy aimed at strengthening ties with Washington while reducing dependence on Tehran. During his visit, Zaidi avoided publicly discussing Iran, instead focusing on economic cooperation and the planned withdrawal of US-led coalition forces from Iraq.
We are one of the countries that established OPEC. We need like a fair share for Iraq. Iraq fought ISIS and terrorism as a whole with support from the United States of America. This fight with ISIS costs us a huge amounts of money and destroyed the Iraqi infrastructure. The damage that really was against Iraq is more than $400 billion. Until today, some Iraqi cities are totally destroyed. They live in camps.
For Iraq, the challenge remains the same, maintaining relations with both Washington and Tehran without being pulled too far towards either side. As Iran-backed militias dig in while the US demands action, Baghdad's balancing act may only become more difficult.
Turkey's S-400 deal is now taking a turn that would change everything. The S-400 Russian-made defense system that cost Ankara its place in the F-35 program may soon be its ticket back. Turkey is exploring the sales of this largely unused S-400 to a Gulf state, with the UAE emerging as the leading contender. Take a look.
For years, Turkey's S-400 purchase has been one of the biggest fault lines inside NATO. When Ankara bought the Russian-made air defense system, Washington responded by removing Turkey from the F-35 stealth fighter program and imposing CATSA sanctions. Ironically, the S-400s were never fully activated. Instead, they spent years in storage as Turkey tried to balance its relationship with Russia while remaining a key NATO member. Now that costly dilemma may finally have an exit. Reports indicate that Ankara is in talks to transfer the S-400 system to a Gulf country, with the United Arab Emirates emerging as the most likely buyer, while Qatar has also been mentioned as a possible destination. The timing is no coincidence. The recent Iran-US confrontation exposed the Gulf's growing vulnerability to ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone swarms. Despite operating Patriot and THAAD systems, Gulf states are looking to strengthen their multi-layered air defense networks. The long-range S-400 could provide another shield against future threats, but this isn't just about defense. Selling the S-400 could help Turkey remove the biggest obstacle to rebuilding military ties with Washington. US President Donald Trump has indicated that he is open to reconsidering Turkey's return to the F-35 program and even lifting CAATSA sanctions if the S-400 issue is resolved. That could also pave the way for Ankara to buy US-made Patriot missile defense systems, replacing Russian hardware with NATO-compatible equipment. However, there is one major hurdle. Turkiye cannot sell the S-400 without Russia's approval. Moscow retains re-export rights under the original deal, meaning the Kremlin holds the final veto. Russian officials have confirmed discussions are underway, but have also described the issue as extremely sensitive. For Washington, the move may solve one problem but create another. If the S-400 is deployed in the UAE or another Gulf state that hosts US military bases and operates American weapons, questions will remain over whether Russian technology could still coexist alongside sensitive US defense systems.
The direct US-mediated Israeli-Lebanese negotiations in Rome have yielded new agreements. There would be pilot zones in South Lebanon, zones where the Lebanese army would assume control as the Israelis initiate withdrawal. But regardless of this, the Israelis say they will stay in place until Hezbollah is neutralized everywhere. We tell you more in this report.
Deadly Israeli attacks have continued in Lebanon amid diplomatic talks. According to Lebanon's health ministry, more than 4,000 Lebanese have been killed and more than 1 million displaced by Israel's war on Lebanon since March. Now, a rare diplomatic breakthrough has emerged between Israel and Lebanon. Direct talks mediated by the United States in Rome have resulted in an agreement to establish pilot zones in southern Lebanon.
Lebanon's been under attack for so many years and always like an underdog, and it would be really nice if it could end. And I spoke to Bibi Netanyahu about that, and I speak to them about it, and I actually spoke to Hezbollah about it. And I think progress is made. That's been going on for a long time.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is eager to secure favorable terms ahead of Lebanese President Joseph Aoun's scheduled White House talks with US President Donald Trump on July 21st. US officials have described the negotiations as positive, saying both sides have agreed on the framework for the next phase of implementation. Under the plan, the Lebanese army will deploy into selected areas of southern Lebanon. As that happens, Israeli forces will begin a phased withdrawal from those locations. The pilot zones are meant to test whether the Lebanese state can re-establish full security control before the model is expanded to other border areas. The initiative is part of a broader US-backed effort to reduce tensions along the Israeli-Lebanon frontier. Washington hopes the arrangement will help prevent further cross-border clashes and create the conditions for a more durable security agreement. The next stage will focus on implementation. Technical teams are expected to finalize the timeline for Israel's redeployment, the deployment of Lebanese troops, and the mechanism to verify that both sides are complying with the agreement. But major differences remain. Lebanon continues to call for a complete Israeli withdrawal from its territory. Israel, however, says its troops will remain in the south until all Hezbollah threats are eliminated. It insists that any withdrawal must be linked to lasting security guarantees. The agreement also faces a major political hurdle. Hezbollah has rejected any plan that seeks to disarm the group or curb its military presence in southern Lebanon. That position continues to complicate efforts to reach a lasting settlement. Still, the Rome negotiations represent one of the most significant diplomatic openings between Israel and Lebanon in recent years. If the pilot zones are successfully implemented, they could become the foundation for a wider security arrangement and a more stable border. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
That's all we have for you on this episode of the West Asia Post. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup, always bringing you the most recent updates, news and ground reports from West Asia. I'm your host, Ghadi Francis, coming to you from northern Lebanon, and you're watching WION World is One.
India's Global Voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir erupts again from Rawalakot to Muzaffarabad. Demonstrators challenge Islamabad like never before. Will there be an end to political repression, economic neglect, and military interference? Bangladesh battles one of its deadliest floods. At least 54 people have died in monsoon-related incidents, while more than 1 million people have been affected and thousands displaced. And we take you to West Afghanistan, where female dress code crackdown is hitting businesses. All this and much more with me, Kripa, on Inside South Asia.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION The World is One.
Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is One.
In this rapidly changing world, is your health keeping pace? Best practices and breakthroughs busting the hype with real insights. The timeless power of yoga and ancient healing. Good food, good mood. Small steps, big impact. Your health matters. Only on WION World is One. Because nothing matters more.